This is NBC News for Universal Kids. I'm Savannah Sellers, and here's your week in review. A teen opens a museum. Julia lives on Staten Island in New York City. She's only 19 years old and already has her own museum.
As a kid, I loved going to museums, and then it kind of clicked to my head when I was 15, like, okay, I want to open a museum.
Julia's family is from Sri Lanka. That's a country near India. She's been visiting the country ever since she was 3 years old. Classmates would ask where her family was from. Julia wanted to show what Sri Lanka was all about, so she asked her dad if she could open a museum.
So my dad was like, you should start from the books and prove me that you're ready and learn about the history.
So Julia hit the books for 3 years.
Every Friday night, my dad would take out a Sri Lankan history book and read it to me. And that kind of how the tradition kind of was impact with me at home.
Finally, at 18 years old, she became a museum owner. She set up her museum with art from Sri Lanka and carefully planned where things would go.
The way I organize my museum is by looking at religion, because we have a lot of different religions: Buddhist, Hinduism, Catholicism, and Muslims.
She gives 20-minute tours, but visitors from all over New York City end up staying for hours. Julia is excited to learn more about her family's history, and her museum is just the beginning. Figure skater Alysa Liu. The 13-year-old from California is making sports history as the youngest winner of the U.S. Women's Figure Skating Championship. Alysa stunned the crowd and judges with her routine. It even had 2 triple axels, one of the hardest moves for a figure skater to do.
I'm just really happy I won. All that hard work really paid off.
Only 4 feet 7 inches tall, she couldn't reach the medal stand, so her fellow competitors stepped in to help.
Yeah, they had to help me up, but it's a cool photo.
Alysa has been figure skating since she was 5 years old and works very hard at practices with her coach. They even have a fun good luck ritual they do before she takes the ice.
So I jump up and down 8 times in your landing position, and it's like a superstition if I don't do it.
It seems like the good luck ritual is working. After winning gold, she gave her medal to her dad.
He just helps me so much. He brings me to the rink every day, and I think he puts in a lot of effort and deserves it.
Keep your eyes out for Alysa. She could be competing in the 2022 Winter Olympic Games. And now, have you seen this? Here comes George. The Bulldog is sledding alongside his family. He hops on his board and has a perfect landing when he loses his balance towards the end of the run. George is having so much fun in the snow that he grabs the sled to drag it up the hill for another turn. It's the Bald Buddies. A few months ago, 3rd grader Luke Nelson was diagnosed with a disease called alopecia. Alopecia causes a person's hair to fall out. Doctors think that it happens when the body's immune system, which normally fights germs to keep the body from getting sick, also fights the areas of the body where hair grows. When Luke lost his hair, he was really nervous and hid under a baseball cap.
It was very hard for me. I was afraid of being, different.
But what Luke didn't know was that his friends had a plan to help him feel more confident.
He's one of the friends and he's hurting, and so we needed to help him.
16 of Luke's classmates took a group trip to the barber to get their hair cut just like Luke's.
I'm really glad we did it just to help Luke and give him some self-confidence.
It really helped Luke feel better about going to school every day, and the boys are all learning what it means to be a good friend.
They've got each other's back, and that's a life lesson that's going to stay with them forever.
It doesn't matter what they are on the outside, only what they are on the inside. I don't really think our bond can get any tighter. They're just supporting me, and it feels like I don't have to be afraid anymore.
Flowers showing off. Every spring, colorful flowers pop up in yards and gardens. Crocus, cherry blossoms, tulips, color is everywhere. And what makes color so colorful? Light. Here's how it works. When light hits something, it bounces back or reflects into our eyes. This is how we can see everything around us, the reflection of light. Light is actually a spectrum or range of color, like a rainbow, and it acts like waves. Those waves have different lengths. The color we see depends on how long or short the wavelength is. Things that look red reflect the longer red wavelengths of light and absorb or soak up all the other colors of visible light. Things that reflect shorter wavelengths of visible light look blue and violet. Tulips, the leaves, the flower pot, each thing reflects a different wavelength of visible light that our eyes see as a color. So when light lands on daffodils, they reflect wavelengths of light that are yellow, so we see yellow. A field of colorful flowers is really a field of long and short waves of light reflected to our eyes. This spring, when you stop and smell the roses, take a closer look at all the flowers around you and enjoy the wonderful show of color. And now, have you seen this? This baby is super surprised by this precious pup named Coco. It looks like this is the start of a lifelong friendship. Garbage, and lots of it. Americans throw out enough trash to fill 63,000 garbage trucks every single day, and some of it ends up polluting the ocean and land. So to help stop more garbage from dirtying up the earth, the Zero Waste movement teaches people how to throw out less trash.
I didn't view it as taking things out of my life, but more of adding new things to my life.
Cakes to go.
Awesome.
At the grocery store, Catherine brings her own cloth bags and metal containers for things like fruits and vegetables, instead of using plastic bags that are usually thrown out after one use.
There are like small changes that most of us can make that can have a massive impact. It's not about like being perfect, it's just about being conscious of what you're consuming and like trying to do better.
Start by focusing on the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. You can reduce by not using things that you throw out after only one use, like plastic forks. And that makes the next step, reusing, easy. Use a refillable water bottle in your lunchbox or reusable bags. Recycling melts down materials like some plastics and metal so that they can be used again. So make sure to place anything that can be recycled into a recycling bin. Every little step counts, so try to reduce, reuse, and recycle this week. And now, have you seen this? Octopus selfie. A diver in Seattle spotted this big octopus in a cave. When he shines a light on the octopus, it comes closer and takes over the camera. Say cheese. That's your look at this week's NBC News for Universal Kids. Now, go join the conversation.
Hey NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.